Greeting. Welcome to Manifest Mastermind University, Class 3, Exploding Roses, Notes Part 2. All right, we're going to be talking about when to use an exploding rose. Before we do that, we want to remind you that everything is energy, and the energy within you creates the experiences that you have. This technique can be used at any time that you feel energy that is not high vibrational. That energy could be coming within yourself, or it could be coming from outside of yourself. But if you're feeling it and it's not happiness, joy, love, peace, amusement, laughter, if it's not that high vibration, then you want to use an exploding rose. It is like the golden sun and the grounding cord. You do not have to be in meditation to use it. We're going to be using this technique to go in and remove both unconscious and conscious blocks from your energy field. So let's talk about the conscious ones. When you feel lower vibrational energy, you want to use this technique to move the energy out of your energy field. So you do not want to sit and wallow in anger, fear, worry, doubt, sadness. You don't want to wallow in the energy. You're going to learn to use a rose to move that energy out of you. Another time when we consciously have energy that is affecting us is when someone says something that lights you up, pushes your buttons, or triggers a negative response. Let's say, for example, that you're at work and something, maybe a customer is not agreeing with you. And it lights you up. You get angry. You feel frustrated. You want them to understand. Well, that energy is not higher vibrational. Let's say that I said to you, you're gonna lose your job. You're never going to be the master of your destiny. You're never going to manifest. Those probably all lit you up, and by right they should. They're not nice things to say, but people say them all the time, and they push your buttons. So when someone says something that lights you up, pushes a button, or triggers a negative response, you want to use this technique. And there's some examples down here. You know, if a friend forgets your lunch date, that's going to probably make you feel very sad, depressed, angry, lonely, unloved. You want to move that energy out of you with this technique. Maybe you get angry if your child's room isn't clean. Maybe that pushes a button inside of you. And here's what you want to look at is, why are you getting upset in the first place? Why are you allowing it to affect you? We have a lot of externals that can affect our happiness, and you are going to be learning a powerful technique that will allow you to move that energy out of you. There is also unconscious energy that may have come from either mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual trauma. And that energy can be very deep within our being. When you go into meditation, we're going to be working to remove that energy out of you. Okay? So, anything that you have been through that has felt like abuse, we're going to move that energy out of you that is programmed in your body, chakras, and aura. and could be affecting your ability to manifest what you want in alignment with the higher power. Now, I do want you to realize that every relationship is a soul contract, and the experience was actually one you chose to experience for your soul's growth. So before you were born into this life, you chose the experiences that would teach you to grow so that you could raise to a vibration of unconditional love and accept the experience as one that you created, not because the other person was terrible. The other person chose to behave terribly because you asked for the experience. That is a very, very hard concept for many people to understand. But I am someone who has experienced abuse when I was a child. It was severe abuse, and it did not happen just one time, and it did not happen by just one person. When I was 16, I realized, as I explained it to my mom, that I had chose these experiences with God so that I could be better able to help my brothers and sisters on this planet. So I actually chose a situation, and then I learned from the situation, and I learned how to rise to a higher feeling of forgiveness, and realize it's forgiveness for them, and it's forgiveness for yourself, because you created the experience. And when you start realizing that you created the experience, then you reach another level of spiritual growth, and you realize there really isn't a need for forgiveness, because you are the creator of every experience. When we go in and we do the clearing, you have to realize that if you have been through either sexual, physical, mental, or emotional abuse, you are probably still hold that programming in your chakra. So it is still affecting your ability to be healthy and manifest in alignment with your higher power. So right now we're going to go in and we're going to remove that programming. As you get further along in the classes, you are going to learn about soul contracts, and you're going to learn how to end any future contracts that are abusive, because you've learned the lesson. You don't need them anymore. And you're going to learn how to end any contract that carries patterns that you don't need to experience anymore. Maybe you grew up poverty-stricken, and you're working your way out of poverty. We're going to remove that poverty programming, and then we're going to create new contracts with other beings so that you can be abundant. Maybe you weren't poverty-stricken as a child, but you're having a real hard time as an adult. That's okay. There's programming inside of you that we will go in and remove with the rose, and we will create new contracts so you can have your wealth. Okay, mental illness is something that a lot of people go through. Anxiety, worry, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia. These are all energy. Everything is energy. And these techniques have been proven successful for people who experience clinical illness associated with anxiety, mental illness, and depression. You do not have to continue to suffer. These techniques will teach you how to remove that energy from your body, chakras, and aura so that you become happier. It's going to happen. Just relax and enjoy it. You do not have to suffer. All you have to do, let's say you get up in the morning and you're feeling anxiety and antsy and uncomfortable and you don't know what's wrong in the world. You just don't feel right. Things are overwhelming. Sit down. Create a rose. Program the rose to go into your body, chakra, and aura and collect up the energy of anxiety. Once the rose has collected up the energy of anxiety, you take it out of your field and you blow it up with a firecracker. It's very simple, and yet it's amazingly powerful. The first time I was told about it, I was like, yeah, right, this is going to work. But it does. And sometimes when you feel anxiety, I'm going to be very honest, you may have to create 5 or 6 roses. But if you create 5 or 6 roses when you're feeling it, it's going to take that energy out of you. And then you're going to use a golden sun and refill yourself. And that energy is going to be out of you. And then a day or a couple days later, you may notice that you feel anxiety again. And this time it only takes you 2 or 3 roses to move the energy out. And then a couple days later, you're down to only using 1 rose. So initially, you may have to create 5 or 6 roses depending on how deep your depression, worry, anger, sadness, anxiety is. When you feel it, you're going to have to actually spend the time to use the technique. But as you progress over time, because you're clearing that energy out of your body, it won't come back as strong. It will be less and less and less and intense. And then there'll be those moments where something will happen, your car will break down, you'll go through something that will cause you maybe more anxiety or worry. You use it in those situations to go ahead and remove that energy from you. Remember, you are 100% responsible for the energy that is in your field. It's important to blow roses because we're going to be teaching you about neutrality and being non-judgmental in coming classes. We're going to spend a fair amount of time on it. Neutrality is very important. If someone pushes your button, you're not neutral. You're upset, you're worried, you're concerned, you're angry, you're something other than neutral. When you leave a neutral state, that affects your ability to manifest because suddenly your energy is consumed by whatever has affected you. By exploding a rose, you can go back very quickly to that state of neutrality. I also want to point out the sage saying that what angers you controls you. That could be said about anger, fear, worry, any of those lower vibrations. When you allow depression or anxiety or anger or worry to control you, you're not going to be able to manifest because all you're doing is keeping the energy of anger, worry, fear in your field, and it controls you. This simple technique will allow you to take your control back. You choose the energy that stays in your field, you choose the energy that leaves your field, and you choose the energy that creates your experience. This is all imagination, but so too is manifesting. What have you heard? All you got to do is create a picture, and the universe, the higher power, will bring it to you. It will, but if all this other energy of anger, fear, frustration, worry, doubt, if that's what's circulating in your body, chakras, and aura, that is going to have more control over what manifests, because your pictures are going to be all around what angers you, what makes you anxiety, what gives you fear. Your pictures are going to be around that. So, if you're imagining, if you're going through anxiety, and you're just visualizing the day being worse, not even realizing it, but you are throwing pictures up of the day being worse, we want to stop that. The moment you see yourself creating a picture that is not in alignment with you manifesting, then you need to create a rose and explode a rose. Great, let's take a break and please watch 7 MMU GP1 Class 3 Exploding Roses Part 3.